Federation, Ibrahim Guzo, said the Federation listened to the yearnings of Nigerians. And joining us live in the studio is Victor Okoye, a sports journalist, to speak on this new addition to the Super Eagles team. Victor, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And great to have you here in the studio. So, but I'll first of all start with, what is your opinion about having Finidi George, having the NFF appoint Finidi George, an indigenous coach, to manage the Super Eagles?
Yeah, I'm so happy for Finidi George, and I think the NFF got it right, to have appointed him as the substantive coach of the Super Eagles. I've always been an advocate for, indigenous coach to take charge of the Super Eagles, because we saw what the likes of what's his name now?
Was it Siri?
No, 2013. No, 2013.
Stephen Keshi.
Late Stephen Keshi. We saw what he did with the team in 2013 in South Africa. With the likes of Amokachi as part of his crew, and we know if he can do that, why not? Any other indigenous coach can do it. So I've always been advocating for a local coach to take over, the realms of affairs on the Super Eagles.
I think one of the challenges that Nigerians have is the tactics at which these coaches imbibe when they are at the helms of affair. I remember when Stephen Keshi was the late Stephen Keshi, may so rest in peace, was the head coach then. Nigerians were just saying the only thing we understand is shoot the ball straight. We had just one. I think the only time we had a beautiful match was against Cote d'Ivoire when Nigeria won 4-1. The tactics at which there's a difference. How do we close up that gap? Between the foreign coaches that we have and the local coaches that we have. How do we close up that difference?
So the good thing is Finidi George is coming with a lot of experience. Haven't been there and done that at the foreign scene and both the local scene, and he's been an understudy of Pesero for 21 months. So he has seen everything that Pesero has done, and I think he's going to build on what he has done. Even though so many people were castigating Pesero for being too defensive, so I think he's coming with the energy of Pesero and a little bit of his own plans to probably make the team a more attacking team. So by the time he blends these two together, defense and attack, I think the team will be a well-rounded team, and we'll see them do great things.
All right. So there's always this issue of contract terms, and it's never put out there. But from the unveiling press conference, we're made to understand that it was a one-year contract. But then you had the NFF president grant an interview to say that it's a 2-year contract. But his explanation still makes it look like a 1-year contract, because he says, if he gets to lead us to the semi-finals of the AFCON, then he gets to keep the job, although it's a 2-year contract. So what's your take on that? A bit of confusion in his contract terms.
So I think the major target, like he said, is to get us to the semi-final of the African Cup of Nations, and then I think he would definitely take us to the World Cup. I see no reason why he, after doing very well in the African Cup of Nations, he shouldn't be allowed to take the team to, then talking about the 1-year and the 2-year contract thing. I'm glad NFF president came out to debunk, the issue that it was not 1 year and it's a 2-year contract. So I believe we should give Finidi George time to work on this team, and at the end of the day, see where he takes them to.
But then, Victor, we should be learning from countries like Senegal, and we can see that what Senegal had done with their coach. They came to the AFCON in Egypt, and they didn't even make it to they left in the knockout stages. But they were very patient until they eventually won, and now they came to Cote d'Ivoire. They left quite early. They still haven't sent him packing. We given Finidi George a 2-year contract that's even dependent on performance. Does that indicate that we're ready for a long-term project with the Super Eagles? Because he's talking about the tactics and the formations, but then these things take time to. So now we're putting the coach under pressure of performing which would mean that he would be very much interested in getting an immediate result rather than building a team that's probably going to take the world by storm in a couple of years.
Funny enough, that's what we have in this part of the world where we are. You know, everybody is a coach. Everybody wants to dictate to the coach what he should do. But I think, like you said, ordinarily he should be given time to build this team, you know, the way he wants to do it. And then we'll see where it takes it from there, ordinarily. But the NFF, we don't know if they will be that patient with Finidi George. But it's easier said than done.
You know, sometimes I always think that Nigeria, the Super Eagles, are always operating like Chelsea Football Club. I'm sorry.
All right, but then as an ex-international,
I'm actually coming to that. You know, they always, you know, do things like that, because if you look at it, you know, given a time frame, 1 year, 2 years, is not enough to build a team. Yeah. Excuse me, Arteta is on a team for almost 7 years. Now,
they haven't won a title.
And they haven't won a title, you know? Yeah, but Klopp was on a team for how many years? They had to build up. I'm just saying, can we start looking at this timeline and this time lapse, you know, that we give these coaches to come and perform miracles? You can't do miracles with, you know, how many players. I know, to just buttress our point as well, I think I have a challenge with ex-players and ex-players having relationship with the current players. For example, you remember the case of Olise and I think it was
Mikel
and Enyama. You understand? What should be the relationship, you know, between these ex-players and, you know, and the players that, of course, they're coaching?
It's very good. The relationship is very, very important. You know, it makes them, you know, gel with what the coach is, and then it brings about respect too. Sometimes when they don't have relationship with the coach, you see respect start to, you know, there's this issue of respect, and it goes on to affect the performance of the team. So I think relationship is very, very important with the team, but probably not to getting too familiar with the team so that the disrespect comes and they start looking at you as one of these guys, one of these guys. Well, you know, but respect in the sense that you deal with them professionally. You deal with them professionally and know where to draw the line, okay? Yeah. So I think in terms of relationship, it's very, very important to have cordial relationship with the players.
Right, that's quite interesting. And then also, finally for me, I don't know if he has any other thing to add, but you know, when you look at how he responded in a press conference, talking about his immediate target, he wants to get on the job, put Nigeria in contention to qualify with the next games of World Cup qualifiers that we have. Do you think that he exuded that confidence that would be enough to manage all the egos we have in the Super Eagles?
First off, it was good to see that he didn't put money in front. You know, he came out explicitly to say that his job is to make sure the job is done, and I'm glad. I saw the way he was composed and told us of what he wants to do for the team, and I'm glad. And I have belief in the coach that he's going to do well, if given the needed resources, you know, the respect and the support. I'm sure he's going to do well.
My question might be very funny. What do we have to settle for semi-final when we can go for the finals?
Okay, so he's just being a Nigerian because it's the same thing we're talking about. So he has to build.
No.
You were talking about building.
Yes, I know. But if you have to build, just tell us you're building. Do you understand? Don't tell us semi-finals. Just tell us it's going to take a process.
Okay, good.
Do you understand? Don't tell us we want to get us to the semi-finals. Just tell us it's going to take a process.
I think they didn't want to put too much pressure on him. You saw even Pesero, they did the same thing to him. They said semi-finals and semi-final. He got to the final. So I think they are trying to follow that process to make sure, you know, that he does well. And I believe he can go all the way to win the African Cup of Nations.
All right. Thank you very much,
Victor. It was nice having you on the show this morning.
And just last